Let's go ahead and lock the eyeball layer and move on to another layer now. Let's play around with some glyphs. As you see here, I have some very rough hieroglyphs that I created. They're based on real hieroglyphics, but I kind of, fake some of them. And what I'm going to do is zoom in on a portion of them. And I wanted to show the effect of age on the mask and also to add a very artsy element to it, which is why the hieroglyphs are not really the real thing and they're not really clean. They're very fun and tribal, and they're really going to add a lot of motion to the mask, which is by default a very stationary object. So the artwork will have a very vibrant feel to it by the time it's all colored and done. So now that we're on the glyphs layer, I'm going to use my pen tool, and this time, since this is a zigzag shape, we're not going to drag any curves. This will be a very easy one to draw. So I'm going to click, 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 and so on until I finish this shape. See, some of the things with the pen tool are non-threatening. So this one here will require a little bit of a curve. So I'm going to click here and pull my mouse, and click here and pull out the shape like so. Now, I want to have a solid line from here to here. So let me show you how to do this very easily. I'm not going to hold down anything on my keyboard. I'm simply going to click and click to close that shape. Now let's move on to, well, this is pretty easy, a square. I'll click, 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 done. And we'll do that same thing over here with this little crazy inverted upside down cactus thing. But as you see here, we want to change direction completely. We want to go this way. And we have to once again hold down on the keyboard that shortcut I showed you earlier, the Alt or Option key. So you're going to click on this point holding down one of those keys and pull the curve, or rather the handle, is so that it's going to follow the artwork. Now you can continue drawing that shape. The secret to Illustrator is knowing when to change direction and how to do it. Let's go ahead and draw this feather shape now. And this shape as well. You'll notice also that whenever you finish drawing a shape and you completely close the path, you are free to draw another shape. And you'll also notice if I hit the space bar, the pen tool will temporarily turn off and allow me to move the artwork. If you look in the tools, you'll notice the pen tool is still selected. And when I let go of the space bar, it will reactivate. Now let's go ahead and draw this shape. Of course, we need some curves here, so let's think about where we're going to start. I'll click here, and I'm going to click here and drag my mouse. And I'll click and drag, and I'll pull out this shape here, click and drag, and I'm not holding down any combinations on the keyboard, except for here, where we have to change direction. See, change direction simply means, literally, the curve is going this way, and it wants to keep going this way. The curve is going this way. We want to go this way, which is going to require a change in direction, hence that keyboard combination that we've been using all along. So I'm going to click and drag out the handle this way, and now I can change the direction of the curve where needed. And once again, it just takes practice and experience to know how and when to change those curves, and even if you really want to, depending on how close to the artwork you want to get. So we're almost finished drawing these hieroglyphs, and I'm pretty sure you guys can get the handle of this on your own, and we really don't need to do this together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys do that, and I'll do mine as well. I'm also going to zoom out, pressing Command or Control 0 so I can zoom all the way out, and then grab my zoom tool and then frame this again so I can see exactly where I have to draw the rest of the glyphs. So that's not too much. So on your own, let's go ahead and draw those. And the rest of the mask is pretty much the same thing as well. The only thing that you might want to experiment with a shape is the twirl when it comes to drawing the sun. So I would definitely drag out a star, or use a flare, or use any of the other tools like the spiral tool to, change this shape altogether and create whatever you want here. So what you can do is use the line tool, or rather the spiral tool, to click and drag out a shape that follows this twirl pretty exactly, and then increase the size of the stroke so that it looks kind of cool. Later on, we'll go ahead and color that orange or yellow, and then we can go ahead and use either the pen tool or the pencil tool or brush tool to draw out the rest of these strokes here. So we can just go ahead and zigzag like this, increase the size of the stroke, and draw out the sun rays like this. Once again, allowing yourself to be very loose and flexible and having a good time with the design.